for the bench, you guys don't use the wave as much percentage-wise. You accommodate the resistance.
The accommodate resistance is all at the top.
Gotcha.
Like, you know, one set of chain 40, two set of chain 80, three set of chain 120. Yeah, perfect. Great question, because you could run a wave like that. The first week, one set of chain, second week, two set of chain, third week, three set of chain, boom, out. Maybe you could go one set of chain and a choke mini band, and then two set of chain with a choke mini band. I like that. Tony Baloney, just, you know, he's an 860 bencher. Tony says, choking that extra band, when you get up here, that extra choke, just you got to blast up through that, because you'll get lazy. That's bar deceleration I was talking about before. Everybody, you know, you think you got something, all of a sudden you don't have it. And you won't never push to the end. Fred Hatfield talked about accommodating resistance. I'm sure some of you know who Fred was. It's called CAT. And probably with accommodating resistance without bands or chains, no matter how hard you want to push with lightweight, you're pushing against nothing. It's like I said about throwing a wiffle ball through the window. You have to do force. You have to put bands on there. And I don't want to do it, but I know he has done it. I'm sure you've done it. You can put enough band on that bar. When you stand up, you literally, it's buckling your knees. It's not like I don't care how much weight you put on, you can stand up with 1,000 pounds. You put 1,000 pound of bands on, it's driving you through the floor. Just keep changing that resistance. See, change the same amount of weight, but get it to move at a different speed. In this book, about professionals, what the hell's the name of that book I gave you? Pablo's book, Beyond Professionals, right? He talks about a lot of coaches in there. I'm one of them, but he talks about a couple other. But this Russian, and this is Paul Anderson's theory, and my theory is, you've got to make exercises hard. The spatial exercise got to be hard. And then when you do the classical lifts, they'll become easy. Paul Anderson said it as simple as it could at 56. He goes, well, I'm doing all these heavy squats and heavy deadlifts and, you know, heavy supports. How hard can Olympic lifting be? Well, he won he's an Olympic world champion. I mean, he was just a freak of nature, but his concept is true. Make things hard. And when you actually, you know, if you pull a bar 5 inches out in front of you, you put the bar where it belongs, it's easy. And there's all kinds of concepts you can use, right? A close grip bench will always make a wide go up. Wide will not make a close go up. And the wide is the close is your lockout. And if you use bands and chains, one of our world record holder benchers years ago, Rob Fusner, said, when you bench press, every time you take your fingers out 2 inches, like take 20 pounds off the bar. And it's absolutely true. So if you use a wide grip, you're not getting anything out of that stuff. The only way you could, you'd have to add weight. You know, every set, when you get wide, you got to add weight. You know, like you notice, I always start in tight with you guys. So at the end, outside where it's a little bit less range of motion, I can most of the time keep up.
So you said you use typically 3 grips for the speed work?
Yes.
Is there a method to the grip you start with, or do you just...
No, it doesn't matter. If you got weak arms, I suggest you start close before they wear out. Now, I trained with a phenomenally strong guy years ago. He meets 500 bench at 198 in no shirt. Number 198 in the world. He's a professor at Ohio State. And as jacked up as this guy was, he's like 2 inches shorter than me, and just, I mean, his hamstrings is here, and, you know, like his triceps are going to fall off. He had to always start close. His arms would give out. If he went wide and came in close, he had a hard time. And key, wait a minute, go put your fingers on the spoon. As long as that bar speed's good, you're good. How much can you bench though?
375.
375, all?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, you'd use this. And I'll tell you how important speed benching is, even in a shirt. Years ago when I started this stuff in 1983, I broke my back, and I'm in my house for 17 weeks, can't do nothing. I came back, I got healthy, and I couldn't even bench. I started to bench and start trying this percent stuff, and by the Soviets. And I used 425, now I'm not lying, 425 I did 8 sets of 5 with. I mean 8 sets of 3. My bench went nowhere. I dropped it down to 405, my bench went nowhere. 385, it went nowhere. I took it to 365 and went to meet and I had a 523 bench, and I benched 530. Finally got my bench rolling again, okay? But 365 for 8 triples. There was no accommodating resistance. Kenny Patterson, 2 years later, trained with 365 and benched 722. 728. That's basically 50%. If the percent says mine was 72, he went to 50. Well, I'm going, well, what percent am I going to use? 50. Like I said, box squats. You can use less weight and squat more weight in the meet. Why wouldn't you do that? The training takes less out of you, get a bigger result in the meet. And So that's how we formulated this bench training. And I watch guys like this. I watch everybody. And I've always calculated, like I did it off like Fred Bolt. You know, Fred could floor press 475 and 181s. And Fred would train the bench at 205. It's roughly 40%. But just not him. I've got a lot of examples. You know, guys write like they know what they're doing. I can never write what I do. So what? And I couldn't write what he did. So what? But I can write what we do. And as a group, there's no group stronger. So how in the hell did it happen? Just why? We applied science. You know, if your car breaks down, you better look at the manual. You know what I mean? Just don't go out and start staring at the motor. Just start tearing things. Look at the manual. Because that manual's a plan.
So I might have missed this, but the weight on the bar plus accommodated resistance is the...
How much do you bench?
250.
Well, okay, we'll put 125 on the bar and add bench.
Okay.
And because that's going to sound so light to you, you're going to see later on you're going to drop the weight, right? Psychologically, you're going to say, what the hell, they're screwing me up. I mean, I'll let you 50%. But you're going to see, you'll probably drop it down.
You'll want to go up a weight, but you've got to move it fast. If it's not moving fast, it's not dynamic effort, you're wasting time.
Speed.
So fast down too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Like
Yeah,
that.
just like that.
Good.
Do 3 fast like that. Non-stop.
Good. There you go. Jason Fry, the guy in the neon yellow shirt over there, he's who I first started training with, like right before I came to Westside. I did my speed work with him, and he used purple bands, the light bands, with like 225 on the bar for speed work. He would move it so fast. If you watched him from the side, his back would raise off the bench. It was like,
His back would go like this.
you know, it was unbelievable. Yeah, he's got him 770 or 725 at 181. Yeah.
And if it's too fast, put some more on the accommodating resistance. And just and you got to do dumbbells. One of the biggest mistakes in this gym, I can't get it. Do you agree? They're not strong enough in the bottom. Because on bench shirts will get it up to here, you got to get it up to there. So when we work the arms, and it's this muscle here, this means crap. It's called the lazy head. The lateral head is called the lazy head. Here's the ones that do anything. It's what knocks people out. Those, extend, stop. All right. So we'll show you how to do this, but you've got to accommodate that resistance. Work the close grip. I lost track of what the hell I'm talking about. What am I talking about?
Just resistance on it.
Oh, just adding resistance. Because see, at the top you got it. You just can't float up there. You got and it teaches you like knockout punch. Just pow, pow. You can see the lateral head is highly developed, but the muscles that are connected to the elbow are not. Go ahead and do a bench. See how small he is at the elbow? Okay. Here's your bench. How wide you are at the elbow. Roll way back. Put pressure like you're getting arm bar. Now do it. Hey, right here. See, this is non-existent. As this would get bigger, you would be stronger. Roll. See, you got the muscles, just never trained it. Roll back. Put the pressure right here. Elbows in. Pull your elbows in and go. See, you're so muscular. You can see this. That gets bigger. You got a bigger bench. As this muscle grows, this head, his bench will go up. See, it's not. See, this is way dominant compared to that. That has to be the most dominant. All right. Women. I mean, women actually don't have a lot of chest muscles. Let's face it. You got to have really strong arms.
Right.
But if you use your pecs too much, you rip them right off.
Right.
They're gone. That's why we emphasize so much arm work, because you see a lot of shoulder injuries, a lot of pec injuries, but very seldom you see a tricep injury. The reason is people don't push their triceps. I mean, I'll do 20, 25 reps in a tricep extension on the first set. I want this thing to know what it's supposed to do. Make sense? You got it fatigued. It already knows what I'm demanding upon it. Then you start working up.